So for step 18, attaching the RC deck. Well, this is where these two pieces need to be attached to the chassis, and once they're together, it creates a shelf where you can attach your ESC, receiver, on-off switch, etc. However, there is also the option of putting on this other deck, which is an auxiliary deck, which allows you to, depending on the sizing of your equipment, it may not work because it does show in the next steps that there has to be a certain distance. If it's past that, it won't fit when the body's on top. And this is where they suggest that you add the other deck if that's the case. Now, in my case, I don't really want them all crowded onto one shelf. So I'm going to attach the other one because I think I want the receiver on the separate shelf, because again, I use my receivers for other kits, so I don't really want to stick it all together because then I can't get it out. So I'm going to attach this auxiliary deck, but I'm not going to attach the transponder stay because I'm not going to be using that. So we're going to build it this way. You can see this is one way, and you have these C14 pieces that would go on before this is attached. Well, because I am going to use the auxiliary deck, it pretty much is built into the part, so we just have to attach both of those to create that extra shelf. So this is the instruction I will be using for step 18, minus the A6 piece for the transponder stay. So I will set this up and let's put this together. So normally they're showing that they want an MA1 and 5 of the MA3 screws, and it shows it right up here. But because we're going to add this extra deck, we have to add one more screw of the MA3 size. So if we start to put this together, you can see that it kind of all has to fit together at the same time. So let's work on this side first, just to make things easier visibly. So this needs to fit like that, but we also have the auxiliary deck C2, which is going to fit on this as well. So you can see here that the screw going into this hole is going into this part first before it's attached. Now, because this is an MA1, so the longer screws go into this part, I'm going to use that right now so that we can make sure that we're not getting this all confused. So if we grab this, we know that this part is going to fit into, so this one right here is fitting into the top hole when we put in the servo saver, or I should say the servo holder. So I'm just going to put this in a little bit just so that it's held in place and it's not gonna fall out. And then you can see that this has to sit like that, and these ones are still all of the MA3s. So we're going to grab a little one here, put that in. Again, I'm not going to do this all the way, I just want to make sure that it's all sitting right. And you can see that the one that's going to fit on the long end, it's an MA3 as well. So that's going to go right there. So pretty much that is what it's going to look like. The only difference is that longer screw on the top one there, which is holding in the secondary shelf. So knowing that that's there, I'm going to screw these ones in. So we're actually going to screw this side in all the way now. And I'm just going back and forth, making sure that it's all sitting correctly. Yep. So this shelf system is held in by the 3 screws, But you can see that we do have a couple of others, but those screws need the other side. So let's put the other side on. So we know that this is going to sit like that, but we also need this side, which you can see has a square notch. That's going to sit in like that so that it looks like that. And again, because of the way this is fitting, we're going to make sure that that goes on first, because we know that it's going to sit. Well, let's make sure that sits correct. There. And I'm complicating this, trying to fit it together, but there we go. So let's get the longer screw. Which I didn't take out. That's always great. And we'll put that one in. And then that's going to snap into there. But first of all, I want to just make sure that that is sitting correctly on there. So I'm just going to screw this in a bit just so that we know we've got something attached, so it's not going to move on me. And you can see that that's going to need to be attached as well. But we're going to do the same thing as we did before, where we have our MA3 screws on this side. And on this side. Which is correct. So I'm going to put those in all the way now. There we go. So both sides of the deck are complete, and these are snapping in together, as you can see, on both the bottom and the top one. And now we can finish this off with the other MA3s, because these ones are going to fit into the back, which are going to hold it together. And do the same thing with the top. There we go. So there we go. There is our chassis with both the main RC deck and the auxiliary deck attached. So step 18 is complete. So now we're going to move on to step 19, and we're going to attach the RC equipment.